when my dad was about my age, he attempted to get some more life insurance. While going through the normal process of getting life insurance, they drew his blood and determined that there was something out of whack with his blood cells and recommended that he see a specialist. Now, at the time, my dad was a school teacher, played basketball 3 days a week, had a garden, almost never drank soda, very disciplined with his routine as far as health was concerned. And after going and seeing a number of different specialists, they determined that he had what's called myelofibrosis. Now, from what I know about myelofibrosis, it seems to be something connected to radiation. Now, back in the 80s, when he found out he had this, I was 11 years old. Now, as I think back, I can remember sitting around that kitchen table, and all of my siblings were there, even my older brothers. And I remembered thinking this was odd. And I could tell that my mother had been crying a little bit, and my mom proceeded to tell us that the doctors gave my dad 2 to 5 years to live. Now, as an 11-year-old boy, I was obviously shaken up by this a little bit. My little brother was 8. And he didn't understand either. None of us really understood what was going on. My dad didn't like to talk about it. Over the next few years, I remember my dad going to numerous specialists and trying numerous medications and not having a whole lot of luck. Now, on the one hand, he was quite comfortable with his understanding of life and death. I don't believe he was ever afraid of death. I believe he was quite comfortable with where he was going to go. But on the other hand, I think he was interested in trying to do everything he could to raise his family to adults. At some point along the way, he stopped taking a lot of the medications, but still had to take one. And he got very into supplements. He got very into high-quality herbs and things like that. He eventually had to have his spleen removed, but he still maintained his activity as he played basketball as often as he could, and then he always had a garden. Every year, no matter what, he always had a garden. Now, about 4.5 years ago, he finally developed lymphoma cancer, which more than likely was a side effect from taking the one medication that he could not stop taking. And that eventually took his life. He lived 26 years longer than he supposedly should have, according to the doctors. Now, we in our family choose to recognize that there's more to life than science. The word myelofibrosis and Nagasaki or Hiroshima are found together. It's routinely connected to an overexposure to radiation. Now, he was raised in southeastern Idaho, not far from where Red Poppy Ranch is now. And I've heard the stories of the kids going outside during school and looking at the yellow clouds. Many people in this area, all over the country for that matter, were exposed to fallout through those radioactive clouds. At one time, there was a class action lawsuit if you lived within a certain range of Nevada or somewhere up and down the I-15, you could qualify for damages. He never did this. Matter of fact, he connected his overexposure to radiation to college back at Utah State University. Back in the 60s when he was in college, they didn't understand radiation the way they do now, and he actually talked about taking a radioactive fluid and playing with it with nothing more than rubber gloves on. Now, I'm not pretending to understand what my dad is going through, but I think he didn't feel good a lot of the time. That takes a toll on you. I didn't feel good this morning when I woke up, but I tried to get up here and do work. I told myself I can feel bad up here just as easily as I can feel bad down at the house and not get anything accomplished. My objective today was to really get the roof finished up. There's 2 days of rain, 2 to 3 days of rain coming in. So I really wanted to get the roof finished up so I don't have to get up there again anytime soon. I got up here, I had a rough morning, didn't feel very good. Got up here, got on the roof, and my legs were shaking pretty bad, and quickly realized I needed to get off the roof. So I decided to devote the day to getting this driveway figured out. Now, the driveway has kind of a U shape to it. It's quite steep, and I have room to get rid of that transition, and I've wanted to do this for quite a while. And I also want to get the driveway quite a bit wider and quite a bit more level, and plus the hill behind me has to go back about another 10 to 15 feet for a couple of reasons. Now, every time I take a tree down, especially a big mature healthy tree, it literally I think about it for months, and I've thought about taking these 3 trees, especially that big Douglas fir, down all winter. And the bottom line is I have to push the hill back in order to put the addition with the utility room that's going to hold all the solar panels. And I need to have enough of a gap between the house and the hill that as water comes off the hill that I can grade around the house, and I don't have water close enough to the house to create any foundation issues. As well as the fact that that hill is going to be the solar panel hill, and I have to get on that quite soon. So again, there's 3 trees on that hill that I have to get rid of. I just pulled one down, one of the maples. I'll knock the other maple down probably tomorrow. But that Douglas fir, man, it just breaks my heart to take that hill down and get rid of that tree, because of I'm guessing that tree's pushing 80 years old, maybe even a little older than that. But we got to do what we got to do, and I got to get it done. I got to get this dirt done. So I spent most of the day in the backhoe, got a lot of dirt moved. I'm going to move a lot more tomorrow. I'm going to try and get the kids up here tomorrow to help me move all this stuff away from the house, around the front of the house, so I have plenty of room to work, and I can work without fearing of bumping into anything. But I worked really hard yesterday on my mom's place on a fence, and I'm hoping that's the only reason why I'm exhausted as I am today. But I'm just not rebounding as fast as I wish I was. So anyway, I did get the one piece of tin on the roof, and I've got like a half a piece to put up there. But I'll wait till I feel a little better to do that, and if it does rain tomorrow, I'll probably wait until Monday to finish it. But I will keep working on the dirt. I'm going to hope the kids can come up tomorrow and help me start spreading out the T-posts. We have exactly 3 weeks to get the lower 5 acres of our place fenced and fenced well. The Cattlemen's Association is going to bring the cows up in about a month, a little bit less than a month. And I got to do 5-string barbed wire around the whole place to prevent these cows from getting in here and tearing things up. It's a battle that we've fought for the last few years. And Idaho is a fence-out state, so I need to get my fence up, and I need to get it piano wire tight if possible, and try and stop feeding somebody else's animals and maybe get my own animals to feed. But I would rather feel like crap up here, I guess, than sit at home and feel like crap. But slowly but surely, just doing something else. Sometimes that's all I can do is just do something. I've got a list a half a mile long in my head of things that I've got to get done. And while I'm not necessarily doing things on the house, these are things that I've got to get done before we can live up here. One of the things that I'm also doing is I'm also creating a bigger area to park. I intend on having grandkids and someday maybe having a bunch of people, and I want to have the room to park if we need it up here. And this is also giving us more surface area to park on. So anyway, we'll get back up here tomorrow with the kids hopefully and get some more stuff done.